50. Yeah. It's 50 shades of life. Let's talk about your type. Are your pockets feeling light?
Does your man treat you right?
Is your sex game lame? Are you searching for some fame? Hey yo, cuz, let's talk about it. Sex house, music wealth, true to self, I knew myself. Boy, you better not lose yourself. But let me mind my own black business. Running up these digits, fresher than them dishes.
Talia, grant your wishes. I'm a tarot reading witness.
Yeah. 5-0. Yeah, 50.
Welcome to 50 Shades of Life.
It's your girl, Raquel NeCole, and the lovely
Black Magnolia.
Uncut. We gonna do it again.
Okay, look, I was like, well, wait, where am I going by? I forgot.
What?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Raquel NeCole with 50 Shades of Life, and we are back. And of course, there is the lovely, glowing as always, the
Black
beautiful
Magnolia. Okay, all right. You gotta put in some sound effects, and I want y'all to all look at my forehead. That's right. Look at the shine.
And look at my lack of sleep, y'all. We gonna make it. Speaking of which, we are back. We took a little hiatus. Yeah. And so we're here, bringing it back bolder, crazier. What's the word I want to make? A realer.
Okay, more truth, more tea.
No, it's realer.
Really?
Yes.
Bigger, blacker, bolder. What was that? That
That's
was like
right.
That's a Chris Rock comedy special.
Yes. We're back bolder and unbothered. That's what we gonna call it. We gonna call it that. But yeah, we're back, so we're excited. I'm actually recording in a different way, so I don't know how this is gonna work or whatever, because I'm not on my full setup. As you can see, in my life, things have shifted. I am in my third location now since we started the podcast 2 years ago, almost. Almost, yeah. So what was it, 2023? We started October 23. Yeah. So now I'm in a different situation. We also have a location in the city of Detroit. That too is moving because we are expanding. But so I don't have any artwork up here, but I have tons of it. I'm so excited. So I will have my full setup ready, but we wanted to record. It's been so much going on. But first, Talia. So tell us what you've been up to. What's been going on in your life? What you've been doing the last 6-7 months?
6 or 7 months. It's been that long. Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, we're back in session. The same. I haven't really been doing many. Well, okay. So I've submitted my book to an editor, but this is a quite expensive process, you guys. I did not know that it is so costly. But this is a full. Like, she's gonna do the whole thing, the edit, and she would put the book out. She's gonna prepare the cover. She's gonna do all those things.
Oh, wow.
So if you do that, it's quite expensive. I was like, I'm gonna have to think about that. So yes, I've been working on that and my channel.
Okay.
That's it all.
So you're still doing tarot and all that stuff, right?
Yes, the Strawberry Mint Tarot channel.
All right, say it one more time.
Strawberry Mint Tarot. That's Strawberry Mint channel. Strawberry Mint. Look, what you say?
What?
Look, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Strawberry Mint Tarot. Yes, she's gonna list it, and y'all can just go and click the link. There you go. But we talk about love, relationships.
That's what I was gonna say. What are we talking about?
Manifestation, all of that kind of stuff.
Now, my other question is, so it used to be Black Magnolia. So why did you change to Strawberry Mint? And what does that mean?
The Strawberry Mint channel picked up faster than the Black Magnolia channel was my oldest channel. And that one just kind of just said, boo, and died. So I went over to the other one, and that one picked up much faster. And so I took all the things that I learned from my old channel and applied it to the new channel, and that one just picked up and got more followers. So that's why.
That's good.
Strawberry mint, strawberry red is my favorite color, along with mint green. So there's no other meaning than that. That's why it's strawberry mint.
I did not know that. See, I'm learning something new. We've known each other literally our entire lives, and I'm still learning something new. So
strawberry red and mint green.
I did not know that. Interesting. Okay. All right. So life's been lifing for sure. Initially started, well, 6 months ago, y'all, we took a small hiatus initially, because we were trying to get our grandmother, who is about to turn 103, who's been cutting up, y'all, cutting up every day.
Yes, every day, but giving them hell,
man. But which that'll be a whole different episode. But getting her into a home that was with memory care and all that kind of stuff, especially her being older, but she's still there. You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole process that we went through, whatever. And then other things outside of the podcast just picked up. So, I mean, when they say adulthood is ghetto, it is ghetto. Yep, it sure is. It is 100% ghetto. Ain't nobody got time for this. If you were a teenager or something, just stay there as long as you can. And right now, there's so much crap going on in the world, which we're going to get into. It's just like, I just need to go back to when I was like 10 or something, because when we were worried about mosquito bites outside, that was it. And playing, and 4th of July, we shooting each other with fireworks and just being happy. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, it's so much that's going on. But you know, environmentally and everything. But other than that, kids are kidding. Life is lifing. But it's good. Work's been busy, and I'm excited to be back on the podcast so we can get things moving and shaking, because we got some people talking in our ears, which you guys will hear about later, that want us to come to some things.
Oh, exciting.
Coming up soon. So, you know, I'm always working behind the scenes trying to find something or whatever. So we had to bring it back. Plus, there's been so many good topics that I'm like, dang, we could have talked about this. We would have had a good conversation about that. And we've had people like hit us up that are like, hey, I want to be a guest. So we're going to still do guests, probably not as much. We kind of went back to the roots of like 50 Shades of Life, which we talk about literally everything life, from relationships, work, money, health, wealth, Black businesses, like Black and Brown, actually, everything that you can think of that deals with life, including current events, funny stuff, like whatever it is. We talk about everything. So,
and you know, whenever I bring this up, everybody makes it dirty. Now, it's mostly men, but it makes it dirty like every single time. I mean, I understand because of the book, but like every time I say, oh yeah, I have a podcast. Oh, what's the name of it? 50 Shades, and they're like, oh, what do y'all talk about? I say everything life, and they're like, oh. I'm like, oh my God, y'all are so dirty. Get your mind out the gutter.
But I mean, sometimes we do talk about sex. Sometimes we
yes, but they make it seem like we just like selling toys on the internet or something. Like we got our OnlyFans.
Well, Talia, I have something to tell you. No, I'm just playing. For the last 6 months. No.
When people do well on OnlyFans, I mean, I'm not going to
look, people I've heard teachers, I've heard all types of stuff coming up. I'm like, Lord. But yeah, you guys, so if you are interested in being a guest, or you've got questions or comments or anything like that, please do email us at 50shadesoflife@gmail.com. That is 50SHA8DES of life at gmail.com. Had to think for a minute, like, wait.
Did you glitch?
And also, if you watch, this is season 2. So if you guys watched the first season, there were a lot of edits. We're trying to keep this as raw as possible. So there's going to be way less edits. You're going to see it how you see it. Not going to be as much words popping up and all that kind of stuff, because we want to roll these out like we were doing bi-weekly, which comes out like every late weekend. When I say late weekend, every other late weekend. Late means midnight, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, whatever that time is on like Saturday or Sunday. That's what that means. Bi-weekly. So tune in. It used to be initially, remember, we were every other Thursday. Yeah. And then we changed that, like, that's not going to work. We got work schedules, 9 to 5, other things going on. So we shifted it. So, but it's bi-weekly, like Saturday night, Sunday morning is kind of when we like to, release our next episode. So other than that, we're going to roll in. So Talia, you're going to take over this part a little bit, but we're going to talk about some of the femininity.
Oh, okay. The femininity. Okay. I want to know, did you guys see or get to check out Candace Owens on Jubilee? So Jubilee is a little spot that they come and you have a guest that sits in the middle, and it's usually like 30 people or so that debate the one guest. You know, my crushy crush, Dr. Mike, was on there.
Oh, Lord.
And he
if y'all didn't watch season 1, go back. You go hear Talia talk about Dr. Mike. I was like, oh. So good.
Yes. So he was on there and he was debating the anti-vaxxers. So this one that they had recently, I don't watch all of them, but this one had Candace Owens. And I'm not a Candace Owens fan. Not many Black people are. And so she was on there and she was debating 4 of her issues. I'm not going to talk about each of the 4, but just the craziest ones that she talked about. And one of them was that her opinion, and this is just her opinion, that we live in a matriarchy, not a patriarchy. And everybody, in particular, I think she went up against this lady called Princella. Have you ever seen Princella the Queen Maker?
You already know I was gonna say no to that.
No? Okay. I was like,
so just in case y'all don't know, Talia always has like these people. She knows all the actors, actresses, all the famous people, YouTubers. I'll be like, who? And
yes,
I know Mr. Beast. I know who that is. I know who some other YouTubers. Nastia is. I know who that is.
Yeah. So she is Princella the Queen Maker. She's a quite controversial figure. She has, I say she has her own philosophies on relationships and men in particular, but now she's starting on to women. And she's just kind of telling you how to really become an independent thinker and different things like that. So anyway, she was debating Candace on that. I think she was actually debating her on the matriarchy versus patriarchy. We'll have to go back and look at it. But anyway, I just thought that was insane, first of all, because how do you think that we live in a matriarchy? And I think one of the things that she was saying, which is true, most of our government is men. So you would think that would be the main thing. And then some of her points were like, no, but she brought up things that were being passed, for women. And she's not a feminist. In fact, she's anti-feminist, which she is do you know Candace Owens? Do you know anything about her?
Yeah. Okay. I know you.
Okay.
Now I do know who Candace Owens is.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of her at all.
No.
I don't know if I don't know if she's going extreme for attention. Do you really feel this way?
That's my thing. I was thinking, so my thing is she's been so controversial for so long. I think that she is past the sunken place. I feel like, and sunken place is just I'm not going to just say she's a Black woman masquerading in a white woman's body. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, you know how you try to be so anti everything else, anti-Black, I'm just going to go in the complete opposite direction. So I'm going to be very conservative. And I'm not going to even, because one of the things that she was saying, let me try to stay on my points here. One of the things that she was saying, part of her discussion was she feels that we should go back to the 1950s. And everybody's like, huh? And so the lady tried to say, she was like, well, hold up. The 1950s, especially for you as a Black woman. And she was like,
it was rough.
Exactly. And Candace was like, okay, let's leave the Black thing alone. And I'm like, but that's a valid point because you are a Black woman. Why would you want to leave that out? So it's almost like she wants
self-hate or something.
It is, but she of course wouldn't say that, of course. But she's a very interesting person, and just interesting. I believe that she's drunk the Kool-Aid for so long that
she didn't drink the Kool-Aid. She drank something else. If she drank Kool-Aid, she'd be pro-Black.
She'd be pro-Black. Maybe so. But you know what I was thinking? I was like, maybe she actually doesn't believe this. Maybe she just wants the attention, like you said, because how could she believe some of the things that she's thinking? Because she wants to take it back to 1950s. In fact, her new book is called Make Him a Sandwich. And I'm like, this is a woman with degrees and has intelligence and has graduated, and has done well. And so I was like, lady, if you take it back to the 1950s, more than likely you would not have even met your husband that you have. And part of the reason why, not saying that she used to have a successful podcast, and she does still. She does bring some money to the table, but he also is affluent himself. So if you didn't run in those kinds of circles and get your education, then you wouldn't even have your husband. Like, why are you? That's what she's saying. She's saying women. Oh, and the other thing she was saying is that women would be more happy if they had children and family. That's what she said. Now, what do you think about this? Because I can see some of it, but go ahead. Tell me what you think about it.
First of all, I think she must have encountered, like if you were raised in like true white suburbia, right? Like I was, you encountered, and you still encounter, even as I raise my children where it's more diverse, but you definitely encounter, especially I'm in a red county. She probably over her life encountered so much racism through her education and her childhood and all that kind of stuff, whatever, to where she developed to me like an alter ego. And this is her alter ego, is this person that is almost like anti-black, or I don't like, don't talk about being black, because she probably used to fight it. And if you probably go back to people that knew her a long time ago, before she went through the school system and got all these degrees and all this kind of stuff or whatever, I can almost guarantee that she was not like how she is right now. You know what I'm saying? I feel like she is just anti who she is, right? In terms of as a female, because she was probably shitted on, just being blunt, you know, because of being a black female, right? You're almost at the bottom of the totem pole when you are in any situation, because you are a female and you are black. So she's trying to reverse that. And I feel like she does try to, and I haven't even seen this episode, but I've seen her pop up on Instagram and you know, like all this other kind of stuff or whatever. And I'm sitting here like, this is somebody I feel like that's hurt or has been hurt, and her way of getting out of that is to kind of like, side with the people that have hurt her so much so that they can't talk about her, because she like, I'm gonna talk about y'all, I'm gonna talk about us too, but I'm not y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's what she does have,
like,
that.
Yeah, like that. I'm not y'all. So, you know, like, you know, we may joke around, but like, girl, I ain't black, I'm Indian. I'm just throwing, we joke around and may say things like that, you know, or just joking around, but we know who we are, right? She is lost, like in my mind, because when somebody battles who you are, it could be, unless she grew up and her mama or her daddy or somebody mistreated her, because some people go through mistreating stuff in childhood about their skin tone, about their hair, about the way they talk.
The other thing was probably because she was a brown skinned person growing up, and I felt like she didn't. A lot of times, brown skinned women, particularly back in the day, were told that they were not attractive. And I think that she grew up in an affluent community, like you were saying. And because of that, so this is my theory on her too, which is similar to yours. It is that I feel like, you know, I think we all grew up with what were called Oreos, remember? And so you didn't fit in with the black community because they made fun of you. And then if you were almost, if you made yourself clear, right? If you were, I'm not black or white, I'm just going to kind of assimilate into your culture, and then I can just go around, then you can hang out with the other with the other white girls, you know, with the other people, because I'm not really black. You know, I'm just like you were saying. And I think that she wasn't accepted in our community, and so she found a community if she essentially denounced her blackness. And if I remember correctly, she even did something as crazy as to, I'm gonna have to go back and look, maybe I'll tell you to insert it here, but she said something in college where it was like real anti-black. So I feel like she feels some kind of acceptance, and if she says I'm anti-black everything, but I just wonder if it's for attention, because how could she even believe some of the things that she's saying? Then we can move on. Because she's saying that she wants women need to have children and family. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. So children and family makes women happy. and that they'd be happiest in the home. But some of the people that were debating her were saying, well, why aren't you doing that? She was like, well, I do that. I get to work from home. I get to spend the morning with my kids, and then I go and do my work starting at about 1 o'clock. But in my opinion, if that was really what you were doing, like when you just be at home making your husband sandwiches, you wouldn't even have a podcast. You would just be, you know what I mean?
Right. Like, and I wonder, like, what her, I don't think I've ever recalled, but what her husband feels and thinks. Like,
oh, he must think exactly like she's saying.
I don't know, but I don't know. Well, give the definition of a feminist, because I think sometimes we get confused on what that is. Do you know, like, what the official definition is that you can tell our listeners?
I think it's and you can give the exact definition if we could put it on the screen or something if you have time for that. But I think it's a person who wants equal rights for women, right? Yeah. That's it. So that's it. That's what a feminist is. Now we have different waves of feminism throughout our time to where we are now. Are we in the third wave? We might be in the third or fourth wave. But anyway, I feel like it was interesting. So to answer my question, though, do you think that women will be happiest with family and children?
I think it depends on the type of woman. Yeah. Because, like, I have girlfriends who wanted children since we were in our 20s. Yeah. But they never found the man, and they wanted to go through possibly even IVF or whatever. And it's still to this day, they're single, and but they have a successful career. So I think where you don't have children and a husband or whatever, that you hopefully made up for it, honestly, by a successful career in some sort, right? Because I don't think this is my opinion, right? I wouldn't be happy if I had, like, no kid or no husband and no career. I'd be like, what is happening? Like, and career doesn't mean making tons of money, right? I could be a pastor. I could be a teacher. I could be a pharmacist. I could be a host. I could be somebody who throws events, like whatever that is that makes me happy, right? But I would have to have one of those three, right? Like, I would have to have, okay, I got my children and my husband. Okay, cool. That is my career, right? Because let's be clear. That's a whole 2 jobs right there. Is parenting is one, and then wifing is another. Then you have the career part. That's something that's a tertiary level. That's a whole different level. So I personally would have to have, for me to be happy, right? I feel like I would need one of those 3, because I don't like being lonely. Like, I need to do something. You know what I'm saying? I gotta keep busy, or I gotta go and see, okay, what's next, right? But it is good. I can't keep my hair. I'm about to pull this boy back.
I wonder what's happening.
It's like, it's this one piece, and I don't want it to hit my mic, because then they'll keep hearing, like, boom, boom, boom. Okay. But I do feel like it is a really, really good thing to have a partner, whether you're a man or a woman, to have a partner in your circle that motivates you and that empowers you, right? It's just like if you grew up and you had parents that were like that, right? That's something you, like, cherish. And if you have children that you can then pass that along to, right? It's good to see that kind of, twofold, like, come back. And to possibly also know, like, as you get older, like, even when it comes to, like, our granny, right? Imagine, like, she had no kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, she had no kids. She had no career or anything. She may not have honestly lived to be 103. That's how I'm looking at it. I don't really know if she really would have. But then who would be taking care of her right now? Like, if she'd had kids, like, we literally. So, I mean, I just look at it from, like, the long run, like, if I live to be old, whether it's 80, 90, 100 or something like that, I hope my kids can come back and take care of me.
But that's what I'm saying. Having children is not necessarily a guarantee that they will take care of you.
It sure will. It sure is.
So they might not.
It isn't. But it's the joy, being a mother, especially of multiple kids. It is a joy to see like you created this creature. And that does make you happy. Now, you do want to swing on your kids sometimes. You do want to, especially those boys. But woo! But ultimately it still is a joy. But I would be lying if I was sitting over here like, yeah, all kids great. No, some kids bad as hell. Hell no, I don't want to have kids like that person or that person. Like, no.
It should be, I think we shouldn't make blanket statements. That's my problem, and we're going to talk about them later, but that's my problem with like her party, the conservative party. Like, I don't feel like you should make blanket statements on what all people should do. So people should be able to have the option. If this woman says over here, I don't want children, I'm child free, I'm good with that. I just want
that's her business.
That's her business.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think we should go around and make a blanket statement and say that all women would be happier if they had children and family.
No.
Yes, everyone wants a support system. We're human beings. We have to have a support system in order for us to function in life. We have to have, and that could be your friends. That could be whoever, who's closest to you. But just saying that you have to have children and family is kind of wild.
I just saw, actually today, an article that came out that said that, and then I saw it again on somebody's post, that women who actually have close girlfriends to communicate with, like 2, 3, 4 friends or whatever, they have a 30% less chance of having heart disease.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So that shows you, like, if you don't have, because women go through so much. I mean, men they go through stuff too, but women, we go through so much. It kind of goes back to you talking about this is a patriarch, not a matriarch type environment, right? But with that being said, we can move on to the next thing, which we definitely got to talk about some drama here.
All right, let's get into it. What's the drama?
Everybody talking about this. Well, one of the things, and let me fix my hair. Hold on a minute, y'all, because this is driving me.
We're gonna have some singing.
Okay. All right. So moving on. So what you think about this Diddy trial and the outcome? What you think about that?
I don't understand all of the outcomes, so you have to fill me in on the details. So he got off on some things, and some things
the main ones. Yeah, the main ones. Yeah.
And he's still gonna have to serve some time.
Yep. So this is what it is. Here's a breakdown. If you guys don't know, or if you feel like is this too much, plus Instagram can pollute you, right? As well as other social media things. So you got to be real careful. So hopefully what I'm saying is right.
Okay.
But per my analysis, so here is the breakdown of Sean Diddy Combs. So it's a federal trial verdict, and also like what else does he have charges for, right? Because he's not done, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why they just don't give him a room next to R. Kelly, because we just need to go ahead.
And they can get together and make some songs in prison about being in prison.
So July 2nd, 2025, he was convicted of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. That was with his then girlfriend, Cassie. That was under the Mann Act, each carrying up to 10 years in prison. Acquitted of the racketeering conspiracy charge and 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. So that basically was, I think Cassie kind of blew it from the little bits that I did see, because it was kind of like, you knew about this or you were okay with certain things, you know what I'm saying? That kind of came out. So he was acquitted of that. Custody and sentencing, a judge denied bail because they were like, you are a whole risk, sir. Go sit your ass down in the jail somewhere.
Yeah.
So he posed a danger based on evidence of past threats and violence towards 2 women who testified. And we know it's more than 2 women. Let's be clear. Well, we assume and we think. And and I think even beyond 2 women. Now, we've heard, some men, and we've talked about this in the past, who also have had threats, He remains in federal detention until sentencing, which is scheduled for October 3rd, 2025. If sentenced to the full statutory maximum, he could face up to 20 years total. That's 10 years per count. And then he has other outstanding matters. There are no additional criminal charges, but at like the federal level, that is, but he still has dozens of civil lawsuits. So because of different forms of abuse, right? So that is a whole nother like mountain of issues that he has to face. So he got sued in November 2023 via Cassie for sex trafficking. That case settled for $20 million one day after filing. So this is her second attempt. Other civil actions, including 2003 sexual assault lawsuit filed by a former model, remain active. So he still has to go through that. And then there are other things that are going on under the microscope or whatever. It's a high profile litigation case, so it's a lot that goes on. But I do know that they said that if he does get, let's say, 18 or 20 years, whatever, the time that he has already served will be rolled into that, so he won't spend that. Plus, they're probably going to decrease it even more if certain behavior and all this kind of stuff or whatever. So, I don't know. I just, I saw two sides of the story. You talked about the whole femininity type thing. And Cassie was the one who like stirred this up. Right. But for so many years, she was quiet. She was hushed. We saw her being abused physically. And I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. How do you feel about her situation and her just now bringing up these issues from years ago? And here comes a whole bunch of more people, right, who bring up these issues. And now the main federal things are passed, or he's acquitted of those. You know what I'm saying? And then now he may serve maybe only a few years ultimately if let's say the civil charges. I don't really know how those may turn out and stuff like that. But how do you feel like knowing that a woman can go through all of this and people were still so like rude and just disrespectful to Cassie, to other victims that were also coming forward? I guess it's like a snowball of different things, in terms of like, how do you feel about the actual him being acquitted and how they turned on Cassie as well for coming forward?
I think that people probably don't understand what being abused is like. And so a lot of times people don't know, because a lot of what I was hearing was people were like, well, why didn't she just leave him? Or, well, she participated in this. She did the drugs. She had the sex. She didn't have to. She didn't have to stay. And so I'm saying that she was afraid. And unless you have been psychologically, I haven't, thank God, been psychologically and physically, sexually abused, then you don't understand how she feels and where that's coming from. And I feel like she was frightened. And then just think about just your little traumas in your life, that little things that happened to you that you carried for years. So imagine something major happening to you, and you have to take all of those years to like deprogram yourself, get over it, and finally move on to get married and have a happy life and get pregnant and so that takes years for you to get over. And then for you to have the courage to say, okay, I'm ready to face this now. I'm ready to have the courage to make you pay for this. And so I think it takes a while for you to get to that point, for you to say that. And I think the hate towards her comes from how people feel about women. Do
you think she had more hate towards her being a black woman?
Is Cassie really black? What is Cassie? She black? Is she? I really didn't know. I thought she was something else.
Yeah, I mean, she's a black woman, who came forward and stuff like that. Because I want to kind of like briefly for the next like 60 seconds just talk about softness versus strength, right? Like, can we really do both? Like, are we keeping peace by being quiet? Are we causing chaos by being quiet? Can we be soft and like, like I guess I'm trying to understand, like, I feel like she couldn't come out until like she had her husband like empower her. Like, look, you need to have this dude pay for what he has done, right?
Right.
Who knows how many conversations that was at night? You know that has to affect even her sexual life, right? Um, and I know it has to affect every male or female that has been abused, right? Even if it's emotionally, physically, sexually, or whatever the case may be, it's going to affect you. I don't care how much counseling you're going to go through. You're going to definitely affect that. So I guess it's just, I feel like she was even more attacked to me because when we've seen white females come forward, they're like, oh my God, versus the black female to me was more like, well, what took you so long? Or she was down, to do that. She knew what she was getting into and all this kind of stuff, whatever. I don't know. Do you feel like that happened or do you feel like it didn't happen?
I feel like I didn't see a lot of women saying that. I saw some women. Now maybe we just on different sides of the internet. I curate my internet, honey. So like I don't want to see too much. Mine
too. I'll be looking at cats. Then the next one I'll be looking at goats. Then I look at somebody getting slapped by somebody else. And I look at news. Then I look at a volcano. I don't like
ridiculous opinions. So I will curate that money so I can't see too many ridiculous opinions. So if you're stupid and you don't have a good like you can't make a point, then you're not on my internet. But anyway, I saw a lot of women supporting them. I saw some men supporting her, some men saying, well, you were having sex and you were doing the drugs, so you were there. I think that it has a lot to do with again, like women not respecting women's bodies. It's them saying that women almost as if you asked for it or you did this, so you know what was coming to you. So it's so bizarre to think that way for you to I just really think that they don't feel that women deserve autonomy over their bodies. And now your question about softness, I think there's probably a time for everything. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's time for you to be soft. I also feel like you can be strong and still be soft. And
you feel like you can do both? Okay.
Yeah, I think that there's quiet strength. I think my mom you're not going to hear her hollering, but she's going to, be like, hey, you're going to respect my house. You're going to respect what I do. You're going to respect the rules of my house. And she's not going to holler. And she's not going to, that's not her thing. So I would say she would be an example of quiet strength. She's not going to get uproar. She's not going to uproar and be like, ah. So, but I think it's a time for everything. It's also a time for you to get nasty, for you to get dirty, for you to fight. And I think you can do both. Okay.
Well, moving on to one of the last segments. So, of course, you guys, July 4th, to me, like, I don't know about everybody else, but I woke up, like, not excited. Like, we've already celebrated Juneteenth and stuff like that. But this was like waking up and almost dreading what had just happened on the eve of July 4th, right? We have known July 4th as Black people, right? Where we knew we were still slaves, all right? But it was the step, hopefully, towards what we now celebrate as Juneteenth, right? It led to a lot of other freedom pieces. So as a country, we still celebrate that moment. And I know for a fact, Black people love barbecuing and taking this holiday to be with family and friends. So I see it as National Day to be with family, friends, and barbecue and relax. So applaud that part. But this time when I woke up for the first time in my life that I could think about, I woke up and I was just like, damn, right? And what we're talking about here is what they call the Big Beautiful Bill, which a lot of other people call big, beautiful bullshit. So, and other names, right? But it was like, man, especially being a mother and a Black person or a person of any color at this point, right? But a person of color, you are like in a, oh my goodness, right? We're already engaging into a war that's been going on since before Jesus and or during Jesus.
Yeah.
And now you're dealing with so much more plus environmental stuff. And now it's like we are so far behind with this bill and all the things that it's going to bring. So even if 2-3 years from now and he is out of office, we are still going to suffer severe repercussions because of this, as we have seen when he was first in term. This is like tripling the issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Talia, and I'll let you kind of go into on a high level for the segment 3, because it's a lot, like it's thousands of pages, you know what I'm saying? But how does this bill, I guess, like break down some of the things and how it affects Black and brown people?
Well, I'm not going to just cover Black and brown. I'm going to talk about how it's going to affect everybody, and that's anyone that's on Medicaid. So it's going to cut. So first off, it's going to cut roughly $1 trillion from Medicaid over the next decade. Okay. That's also going to include work requirements, and that's going to affect some people's eligibility. Okay. So it may cause 10 to 12 million people to lose their coverage by 2034. Okay. When we talk about imposing work requirements, you have to think a lot of these people have disabilities. And so they aren't able to work or not able to work for long hours. This is also going to reduce SNAP, which are food stamps. Okay. Yep. They're going to lower those budgets and they're going to raise state administrative costs. Now, how that's going to affect you for Medicaid, you have to also think about when you live in your rural areas or your healthcare clinics and things that are supported by Medicaid. When they lose those grants and that funding to keep those open, then those people not only are going to lose their jobs, but you also won't have those hospitals and facilities for you to be able to go to anymore. All right.
Yep. So then service you, period. Because nobody can work for free because that person is still have to pay for their own bills. So it's a massive impact. Right. So and I think the other thing, like you talked about, was food stamps. That I do agree that there is some abuse in the usage of food stamps. But like you talked about, putting a blanket over the whole situation, like we're just going to cut this out. It reduces benefit levels and tightens eligibility, potentially stripping assistance from millions in low income communities. So you think about some people, like you said, who are working, where some businesses have cut back their hours and they have an infant or a child at home, and cost for bananas and eggs and milk and gas and everything is eating up every single one of their hours, right? That is put on by the government. How are they supposed to feed this child?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And some of this is also for them to have those programs where they get the free lunches, right? That's going to affect them as well. So how are they going to eat? What's going on here? Also, in my household, this applies to me. In my household, we have caps on graduate student loans. Okay, so let's talk about what that is. They're going to cap graduate student loans up to, for undergrad, it's $100,000, and for postgrad, it's going to be $200,000. Now, you know, my child wants to be a doctor. You know what it costs to be a doctor?
Ridiculous.
$1 million. It costs $435,000 to go to school. So your money is going to run out. So over a lifetime, all you're able to get is $200,000 for you to go to school. And then after that, that's it. You don't get any more money. So of course, we're going to keep looking because they have scholarships. Of course, there's money everywhere. You can find it. But, you know, we're all going to be fighting the scramble to try to get that money so that they can finish their education. All right, so they're
still going to be cut. Like, and that's the conversation that I've even had dealing with a nonprofit, right? And we do serve underserved populations and stuff, is because even those companies that benefited from the working class and the middle class, right? It's going to affect the income and the money that they have to share. Right. Because it is going to, instead of them having, hey, we had $1 million, set aside to give out for scholarships for graduate, undergraduate, blah, 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 blah. That's now cut down to say 200,000, right? Now you went from one organization having $1 million to 200,000. Now multiply that over and over and over. And some of those places go from $1 million to nothing. Because now they have to shift their lines, their budget, their accounting, their finance and stuff to say, hey, hold on, wait a minute. We got to stay our business afloat. We can no longer give this money to this organization. Plus, people are not going to be able to spend, right, what they were used to being able to spend because they relied on food stamps or Medicaid or Medicare or whatever it is, because they knew, hey, I have health insurance. I don't have this medical bill and this medical bill. Now there's going to be a $35 copayment, right? For an individual that has Medicaid. And it's hitting almost 11 million people. So it is going to be, you don't have to be a mathematician, right, to figure this stuff out, but it's going to affect more than Black and brown. Like, let's be clear, because we are actually the majority. We're not a minority in this country. The majority is Black and brown people, right? We already see that. Now you're talking about taking away doctors, psychiatrists, which are doctors as well. You're talking about even teachers that, certain administrative levels require doctor, PhD level, things. That's going to limit those. There's going to be less people, period, because even undergraduate schools cost so much. That's hitting $100,000. Where I went to at Xavier University, you can quickly hit $100,000. And that was in 2005.
You don't get that money, and so that's it. And they don't. That's the cap.
And it's just like you're literally sitting here. Now you have, and this goes into effect in 2026, which is next year. And now you're going to have people that are going to lose their minds because, and it's going to be everybody, because you're talking about loved ones that are going to be physically dying because they do not have insurance to get the medications that they need literally to survive. Hypertension, diabetes, lymphatic diseases, and cancers, and whatever else it is. People are going to start losing their minds physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually more than what they already have, because now you are messing with their loved ones. You're messing with their money. You're messing with their children's future. And ultimately, you're messing with the economy. You're messing with the community. You're messing with the fact that I'm able to wake up and feed my child. So now it's like they're trying to create like a civil war. They're trying to create this turmoil. And it's almost like he wants to do it so he can come in and be Captain Save-A-Ho. And it's going to be like, I'm being serious. It's like he's setting up the perfect storms in my mind to create a catastrophic event so he can come back. I'm like, sir, you already did that in COVID. You already did that during COVID. So you already you messed up some things. So I just feel like it's a whole bunch of bull crap.
I agree with you that he is trying to pit us against each other. And the thing is, how he won is, and I used this before, if I can distract you, right, and I can tell you that the immigrants are your problem, right, and I can say, oh, and DEI, those were the two things. DEI, they're taking your jobs. The immigrants, they're causing you all these problems. They're getting into it illegally, right? And you're like, yeah, rah, 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 yeah. And then you don't see me when you're going that, but behind your back, what am I doing? I'm giving the tax cuts and everything to the richest people in the country. That's not you. I don't even know why you think that you're not even, these people wouldn't even spit on you if you're on fire. Okay? But anyway, while you're going and fighting, yeah, F those immigrants. I'm passing a bill like this that's going to affect you. And if it doesn't affect you, your Meemaw, your Peepaw, all of those people who had to get diabetes treatment and they needed to go and get dialysis, all those types of things, it's going to affect them. And the whole time while you're in here hollering about DEI and immigrants, and we're going against them, and abortion rights and all of those things.
Yeah.
Those are the things that he ran on, because I listen to the MAGA people all the time, and that's what they talk about. And I'm like, yeah, the whole time he's running this game on you.
Like hardcore game, because that's the funny part is, in those red areas, the high majority of that population are benefiting from these programs.
Yes. And look at Mississippi alone is that's where I am, you guys. Mississippi is projected to lose $118,000 of 118,000 people are projected to lose their health insurance. Okay. So and even up to 153,000 seniors, people with disabilities, even more than that. Okay. So, I mean,
yeah, because I know Michigan, we're up there around almost 450,000 plus. So, and there's a lot of counties that are those red counties. And I'm gonna be honest with you, they are not the thriving counties, right?
Thriving.
The ones that are educated counties, the ones that have the higher education, the higher household income, the more stable, the more savings in the different tax brackets and all this kind of stuff, whatever, they didn't vote for him. They voted for another individual. And we were warned, like everybody was warned. But, when you're in this cult, you're in this gullible world, you know what I'm saying?
It's a cult.
That's the problem. Yeah. They are completely brainwashed. And it's really, really sad, because to me, I think they're the ones that's going to lose it first. They're the ones that's going to be like, wait, hold on, because they're going to be like, wait, you turned on your own kind. Because you didn't tell us this, because they're still uneducated. But then there's going to be the fools that's still going to be talking about the Democrats and do this, do that. Meanwhile, you got Russia,
still talking
China.
About
you got Russia, China, and all these other little places that are also moving on to where the U.S. dollar sucks right now. You've got BRICS and all this other kind of stuff that's empowering. And they're like, we don't need the U.S., sir. This ain't 1950, 60, 70. The only countries that we need are China, the Saudi Arabia, the Arabic areas, because of the different canals and stuff like that. And now here comes Africa. Africa has the main minerals that we need to survive. And they like, y'all not coming in here. But if you do come in here, we're going to make the most money, and we're going to get our culture and get our stuff together. So you got Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia. You got all these places are now kicking behind, who are like making the dollar look like a penny, literally. And I'm just sitting here like, oh my God.
Told that his plan is going to make America great again. What jobs is he bringing back? What has he done? And all he's done is cut all of this, and all of the things that he cut is going to his rich buddies. That's just providing money so that he can provide them with their tax cuts.
We can't even get our planes together right now. We can't get our planes together. Like, have you ever seen this many plane issues? Yes, we have had plane issues everywhere.
No,
right?
It's been ridiculous. Like, afraid
to fly. Crazy. Yes, it's crazy. So, but yeah, so it will affect student loans and eliminates Biden-era repayment plans such as Save, Pay, ICR, caps graduating borrowing, like Talia said, 100,000, 200,000, depending on the program. It rescinds the Parent Plus benefits. Now, I know for a fact that 100% is how my son got through. And that's how I partially got through, as Xavier was a Parent Plus loan. Now, I do agree with what they did years ago, which was they did cap how much an individual can spend, because you don't want to, like in undergrad, they were just using the money to get cars and apartments and do this and that, so it's like, no. So, but that goes back to elementary school. How to manage your money properly and understanding how does financial aid actually work. That's where they should have started, was in the schools, like they do over in the Asian countries, where they teach them about finances and monetary and all these other things, as well as technology and stuff like that. It's not just slaughtering the people that have already worked their ass off for 20 some years to get to college. And now you're telling them they can't be a doctor. So now you're affecting the communities that they support, because it's by fact known that individuals that see, like Black people that see Black doctors, they live longer, they have healthier outcomes, they have a much better situation. And that's probably the same for Indians on Indians.
Yes.
Arabics going to go see Arabics, and even white people to go see white people. But at the end of the day, it's affecting that. It cuts, like she said, Medicaid and SNAP. It will hit the color the hardest, because there's a lot of
Pell
food
Grants.
issues. Yep.
You know,
Yep.
your Pell Grants is also doing the Pell Grants. So they're making your hours have to be. They're making the eligibility requirements much higher for Pell Grants.
Yes. Yep. And another huge one is environmental justice, rolling back clean energy and public health protections. It shifts costs into communities of color, because that's where a lot of the environmental issues are where people of color are, from Black and brown individuals. So you're talking about clean water. You're talking about, there's a whole bunch that's going on with Nestle and a whole bunch of other stuff that's happening. So it's a lot of different issues that deal with high pollution that causes our environment to speed up. We're having these ridiculous storms. There was a tornado up the street from my house up here in southeastern Michigan. We've already had like over 25 in Texas, Middle Texas.
Yes, look what just happened there. Yep. And I wanted to argue here. Do you know that Doge cut those in that same area? That Doge cut the National Weather Services. That they cut there were significant cuts to that area. And
it's literally the position is open for the individual because it happened at night. So the position is literally open because they released that person, and they even interviewed your president. It ain't my president. No, I'm just playing. Where he was like, no, I don't think that, we need to bring back those individuals, because they could not alert the individuals that, hey, this was happening that night. If somebody was in that position, it 100% would have happened. Because be mindful, this same thing happened in 1987. The exact same Guadalupe River flooded in the exact same way, but they were pre-warned.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. So he made those, Doge went in there and made those significant cuts to National Weather Services and meteorologists, and cuts to those programs. And I'm like, do y'all realize that those things are in place for a reason? These aren't just like jobs. Oh, we're just taking money from here. That's just so ridiculous. So that you can have more money to support your government contracts, man, get out of here.
Yep. It's crazy as though. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to keep praying. We're going to keep on thriving.
No, we ain't gonna
striving.
pray. Ain't gonna work. We're gonna have to get out there and test some stuff up.
Well, now, God wants you to pray, but he also has you to do the work. So it's not going to be a miraculous thing, right? Yes. Because God said he's tired of us.
You can pray.
He said, I'm tired of y'all.
He said, look,
y'all, I don't care what color y'all. I'm tired of the shooting. I'm tired of the racism. I'm tired of the cussing. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of y'all. Y'all, it's like having a bad kid. That goes back to a mother and her child. Is a mother happier with her children? God ain't even happier right now, right?
No, what a mess. No, that's what y'all need to do. You need to get in there and vote when it comes back around to these midterm elections in 2026. But also, we're going to...
They're trying to take that away. So you got to make sure your voting and stuff is together, because they're trying to make that stricter. So especially from people that are in rural areas, people that don't have certain jobs, people don't have certain pay, if you don't have certain ID. This goes back to the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. This goes back to the beginning. So all of those things are also part of this plan, Project 25, 26, 28, whatever you want to call it. All of that stuff all goes back
Project
to that stuff.
2025.
Garbage.
And he's 50% done. And so it's 50% more coming, you guys.
It's crazy. But meanwhile, we have a lot more things, you guys. We are out of time for right now, but we definitely have a lot more. We just wanted to hop on here because those are some things that have just been truly bothering us. You guys need to stay alert. Love on your family members, love on your friends, and things of that sort, and things of that sort. But don't be afraid. You said what? Huh?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, don't be afraid to live, though, right? So still get out there, live your life, do what you got to do, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, everything. Save your money, though.
Yeah.
And one thing that we will be talking about in a future very soon segment, because we're even prepping here in my household, is prepping for things like a war or certain things for a disaster or whatever, because we are not out of sight. We are not out of range. We are
Right.
not, there's a lot more going on. So you want to be proactive and not reactive. So there's certain things that you may see on Instagram, even Pinterest, that you need to go out there, to be honest with you, and have something for your children, your pets, or your dogs, or whatever, because I mean it is very, 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 very close to home, and it's close to home like it was 40, 50, 60 years ago, and even closer,
Yeah.
because now there's technology, right?
Yes.
So, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood, just stay alert, man, because people crazy out here. Stay alert and enjoy life. And I'm glad 50 Shades of Life is back. You can come here and kick it and relax. This was a more serious moment, but you know, sometimes we have to be serious though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some serious this time around. Maybe our next one will be fun.
Yeah, because actually the next one, we didn't get to this tonight, but hot takes and hard truths. And we do have some new segments that are also going to be coming up as well. But hot takes and hard truths, like all money ain't good money. We want to definitely talk about that. And do friendships have expiration dates?
But if you want to send me your money that you think is not good, she gonna list my PayPal there. If you want to send me your money that you think is not good, I'll take it and make it good.
For sure. And then we want to talk about what's toxic and what's not. We want to talk about what's dope, what's happening in the fashion world. We want to talk about that. We want to review some more products, because we had a really good turnout for people loving on our products. And you know, shout out to the Lip Bar here in Detroit for linking up with my girl Coco Jones. Yeah, I love me some Coco Jones since my kids were little and stuff like that. But that girl is so dope. But anyway, so we're going to review that. But please do hit us up, DM, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, iHeart, YouTube, whatever it is. I need to look, Talia, she getting sleepy. We've been on here entirely too long.
You called me on the
So we keeping this raw, we keeping it bold, we keeping it live, we keeping it fun. So hit us up at 50shadesoflife.com or 50shadesoflife@gmail.com if you want to actually email us. But our 50 Shades of Life form is on our website, so you can go on there and let us know, or if you want us to come and visit you. And you know, maybe we need to host something for you, which we did at Creator Con back last year in Detroit, which we had an absolute blast. Create new relationships. So I'm just excited on what 2025 and 2026 holds for us. For myself, Black. For myself, Raquel NeCole. For my cousin, Black Magnolia Talia. I'm about to announce myself as Black Magnolia. That is not what I was trying to say.
You gonna take it out.
All right, y'all. So stay tuned, and we will see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. 50.